Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. I'm Landon Ray. Today we have Andrew Wadsworth, who is the founder of IT Muti, a company that delivers insights and implements systems for their clients. Despite his mostly virtual interactions with clients, Andrew is passionate about sustainability and envisions a future where communities care for each other and grow cultures that are inspired by the biodiversity that surround them. He sees entrepreneurship and small business as an important catalyst for bringing this vision to life because an efficient business is able to invest locally in projects that serve the well-being of the community. Mm-hmm. Awesome, Andrew. Yeah. I didn't actually even know that about you. Yeah. But I'm going to actually say what I do know about you, which is that you, help a lot of small businesses figure out their IT concerns, right? Yeah. And it probably like across the board. People come to you who are just like fed up with it, and they employ your team to probably everything from websites to systems to reporting to. So you want to tell us?
Problem solving, really, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So someone will come to us with something they're stuck on, mm-hmm. and then I like to problem solve. Yeah. So I figure out the best way to do it, and then project manage building that. So with Ontraport over the years, there's mm-hmm. been gaps in what people want with the app. Yep. So if there's a gap that I see an opportunity in, I'll build something to fit in that little gap until you guys build it into the app.
And you're out of Melbourne?
No. Mullumbimby is a little town close to Byron Bay, just south of the Gold Coast.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah. And then you've kind of got like a system where it's not like necessarily one-off, but it's like a subscription service?
Yeah, we have a subscription service called Technology Partnership, which we have a few clients on. And that's more our consulting thing. What we do is we have a weekly meeting with a client where we look at their stats. Mm-hmm. We run that on their KPIs. So mm-hmm. what we're trying to do is really look at where they want to go with their business mm-hmm. and make sure we're measuring and doing what we're doing is actually aligned with the goals that they're trying to do. So we build a dashboard, a business intelligence dashboard. We take the data out of their accounting system, their CRM. We know what the KPIs are, and then if they ask me, let's build a membership site or build this product, is this aligned with the vision? Is it going to get us where your goals want you to take you? And that's how we work with the client.
Yeah. So how long have you been at it?
IT Muti was founded in 2013. Mm-hmm. It was my second business, mm-hmm. And it was a partnership between me and Jason Paisley's, mm-hmm. who's another consultant. And our vision was that we were going to create a cookie cutter sort of systemized approach that we could then go to a vertical and start selling to. But we found that the kind of clients that were coming to us had all different kinds of problems, and both Jason and I just love solving problems. So we just went really wide. Yeah. And that got me into really learning a lot. And so the first 2 to 3 years of IT Muti was really all about learning, taking on as many different problems as we could and trying to make products out of them when we could. So there might have been a problem someone needed, and I said, well, do you mind if you part fund that, and then we create it into a product, and then we can sell it to other people. Mm-hmm. So that's how we started creating our first plugins and integrations and things like that.
Right, and what was the business you had before that?
It was a cleaning business. It was a franchise called Oven Clean. So instead of going to university and getting an MBA, I bought a franchise.
Yeah, why not?
Played around for 3 years. Mm-hmm. I hit a limit with that because the franchisor didn't understand anything online. Mm. They wanted us to do leaflets and all that sort of stuff. They didn't even really care about a website. Yeah. I was already in the cloud. I was really wanting to have a business that was totally integrated in the cloud. Yeah. So I got out of that business, and then I met a like-minded guy who had a really good opportunity in property services. Mm-hmm. So that's when we signed up for Ontraport in 2009.
So you've been at it then for, sounds like 13, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that?
Yeah, so with Ontraport, I've been using Ontraport since 2009, mm-hmm. But as IT Muti, 2013.
If you could flash back in time to 2008, say, and give that younger guy a tip that would make it all easier, what would it be?
I think it would be understanding what niching means. Yeah, I see now that the opportunity is if you're really good at one thing mm-hmm. and you do it well, you can scale that a lot easier. And it's taken me quite a few years to realize that.
It seems like you're still really realizing it. You just told me that you're going wide instead of deep.
Right. So that's exactly right. but now I am getting things. So when you build something quickly and release it, and test it out and it works, and
Yeah.
then you can start adding bits on. So that's always what I've done. But now that I've got some things that are working really well, I can now, I'm not. It's not as fun for me to then push that thing out. I like to move on to the next thing.
Next thing, yeah.
But that's what my advice would be. It'd be you've got to step back and figure out what's actually working. And a real business is something that is predictable and turning. You can actually step away and have someone else do it because there's a procedure and a policy in place, and they're able to follow those guidelines, and then you can step away and start visioning the next thing without being in the trenches.
So what is the thing that's really working for you to get those clients for IT Moody now?
Referral partners. We don't do any marketing. Being a consultant and product, we could probably market our products better, but generally the projects we get are referrals. Ontraport is a big referral of ours.
Of course.
And then also some of the other business coach style companies like in Australia we have Basic Bananas, Business Blueprint, James Schramko, those sort of guys that teach businesses the frameworks of success, but then don't implement. And then they're like, I need someone to implement. Like, I'll talk to Andrew Wadsworth.
Yeah.
So they're the kinds of leads that I get, and then I can generally find something to start with someone. Often they think they need this and that, and then I'm just like, let's do what's your goal? What do you want to do? Where do you want to be next year? Okay, well then let's get that thing done. It could be automating their quoting process.
Yeah.
Just starting with that.
How do you think about building those relationships? Because having a business that's basically driven by 3 or 4 key referral partners is amazing. But you have to actually go get those 3 or 4.
You do, yeah. So it's a long-term relationship. It's a good relationship. It's like a good marriage in many ways. You've got to get to know each other, and you've got to be able to give and care for them. So with my all of my referral partners are also my friends, and I will offer them services in the beginning. So, for example, I only met Christo for the first time last year from Basic Bananas, and he's lived. We were in the same community, but I'd never met him before.
Yeah.
And I listened to some of the problems they were having, and I was like, hey, I've got something that would be awesome for you guys, and I just gave it to them, and that was where that started. So it's about showing someone, and I think if you're a young person and you're interested in learning, go and work for free. And so I still take that, I still do that. And if there's someone that I want to work with, I'm not going to ask them to pay me. I'm just going to go and give them something for free, and then they can see that what the quality of the work is, if we can work together, and then start from there, building something.
So what are you learning right now? What is the kind of thing you're struggling with, trying to figure out? What's the next thing?
Yeah, so I've got ZoSync, which is an integration between Xero and Ontraport. It's a very niche integration.
Sure.
So it's Ontraport users who also use Xero, who also sell in Ontraport. Because not all Ontraport users necessarily sell in Ontraport either. If they're a consultant, they might be invoicing out of Xero, not necessarily. And there also need to be a business that understands why accounting is important and why your books need to be up to date.
Mine.
Like a lot of businesses. So anyway, what I've done is I've created something that's so niche that to market it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
So then I've got this other product which is Vital Statistics, which is business intelligence dashboards, and I want to be able to build something that, at the moment, I'm like, what's important for your business? Okay, let's go and build that, and it takes 30 days to implement. What I want to do is have something that's a little bit more easier to implement quicker for Ontraport users.
Yeah.
So I guess where it comes to for me is it's creating a product that is scalable enough that I can add clients in quicker and then market it. I've never actually done any real online marketing. I work with clients and implement it for them, but for our own stuff, it's always, I'm just used to referrals and growing organically.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where I'm at with our products, and also making the product a little bit more friendly for anybody. Probably making it a little bit more generic, and then being able to market it. And it's exciting. I've started doing it with ZoSync, so we've started to do Facebook ads, and we're targeting Ontraport users, people interested in Xero. I want to bring Xero users to Ontraport next, so I think that's a great campaign to start focusing on. There's 1 million Xero users.
Yeah.
So automation is awesome for any business. So it's about taking some of those users And I like those clients because I like businesses that understand accounting.
Right.
I want businesses that really do care about their balance, not just their 7-figure income, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it's really important to know that it's a sustainable business that you can sell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something that is an asset.
Yeah. So, you know, you're a young guy still, but if you can imagine 20, 30 years down the road, looking back on your career, what would you like your legacy to be? What are you building here?
Yeah, I think if I could work with young people to get them into business and have them be successful at a younger age, not having to go to, not thinking they have to go to university, get started and I think that would be cool to know that I'm 50, 60 years old and there's plenty of young people out there that I helped inspire or to start their businesses.
Yeah.
I don't have an ambition to be famous or wealthy. I love living my small sustainable life in my little community.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, you know, once I get to a point where I'm more financially secure and don't need to work 5 days a week, those extra days I have, I would love to be working with young people and inspiring them to start thinking about how you can create a financially viable business plan and get started, try things out, become an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So we call this thing Modern Entrepreneur because we're trying to figure out what it means really to be an entrepreneur in this kind of moment in time. Everything is moving so quickly.
Yeah.
And we're all having to relearn everything like every year. And it presents all kinds of new opportunities.
Definitely.
And also we think some interesting responsibilities, the way the landscape is today. And so we're just kind of trying to shine a light on what those might be. What do you think those things are?
Yeah, well, I think that entrepreneurship and small business is where we need to be. That's the real catalyst in change in communities. Like if you look at Africa and Asia and places that people have been struggling, when they're given a micro loan to start a small sewing business, they're actually able to change the whole community, especially women in business.
Yeah.
I did go to university for a little while and studied sustainability, and that's some of the stuff that I was learning in the stuff I was reading was how impactful small business is. And the thing that I think we need to transition out of is big business.
Mm-hmm.
Big business for me is not good for humanity and it's not good for the planet.
Yeah.
But small business is awesome. So some people join these like extremes of like, yeah, I love business and no, I'm a socialist.
Yeah.
But I think we forget that it's not about business or no business. It's not about capitalism or not capitalism. I think there's this great area of entrepreneurship and ideas and small business where you're actually giving back to your community, you're giving jobs in your community. You start out in the farmer's market with your idea and you end up creating a little, hole in the wall store and then you have a couple more stores. And I'm seeing that happening in great towns all across the world.
Yeah.
Towns that haven't been, ripped away by large corporations.
Yeah,
and my wife comes from a small town in Wisconsin. Their downtown's dead. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's a massive Walmart on the highway. Everyone works there now.
That's it.
And there's no, it's not nice. I don't like that. So I think a modern entrepreneur is someone who is finding those opportunities in their community, giving back to their community, and the community is also working with them. And seeing the real cost, like the cost of buying something so cheap from a factory, has a cost that you don't have to pay for right now. So I don't have to pay for the sewage that's going into a Chinese river, but someone does. Those true economic costs that we're not factoring in are hitting us now.
Yeah.
So I think the modern entrepreneur is someone who's aware of that, still loves business, and wants to create a business that it considers that and also then is viable and creates profit that they can then fund art and fund music and fund cultural changes in the world and don't rely on governments for that.
Yeah.
We can fund those things.
Interesting.
Isn't that exciting? Make a profitable business and then you're funding a new circus. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's
almost like I'm hearing you saying that like when businesses get so big that like no one person in the business feels sort of like responsible for the community anymore. You know, it takes on its own life that only eats things and only looks out for profit, whereas as small businesses, we remember that we're human and a part of a community, and we can make sort of almost, you know, moral decisions about how to behave in our environment. And so our responsibility then as entrepreneurs is to remember that we're participants in a local community, and that the impact that we make means something and has an impact, whether it's good or bad, and we have control over that.
Exactly. And when I see someone who needs something, my mind starts thinking, how can I help them? And I think if I'm an employee of a large organization, I'm getting, you know, an income. I don't have enough income to be able to help them necessarily, maybe a little bit, but when you've got a business and you see someone with a problem, you really can fund something that you want to fund. There might be an artist that you love and want to help them make their first album. I was just watching the Heath Ledger documentary. There's a documentary on his life. He died at 28. But all through his career, as he went from, you know, a kid out of Perth, my hometown, to Hollywood star with, you know, Batman movie sort of credentials, he always was funding things all the way along. Like, you know, and it was always in the arts. He was very passionate about musicians, and I think that's cool. You know, even someone he's not an entrepreneur, but he's a high-paid Hollywood star, was constantly throughout his career giving back, finding ways of helping his friends in their businesses, starting up a record company, doing this. I like that. That's what inspires me in business, those opportunities. And it was what he loved. It wasn't that Hollywood was saying, oh, you should fund Breast Cancer Awareness Week. He wasn't moved by that. He was moved more by music. So.
Awesome. Andrew, thank you so much for being here. It's been a total pleasure. Would you be willing to sign our wall?
Definitely.
Thank you.